What's up everyone? It's been a while since I made one of these videos, but today I got something pretty special to show y'all. I've been sent a Tourbox Neo, which is the new generation of a deeply customizable creative software controller. Now, what can the Tourbox Neo be used for? You can use it for editing images in Photoshop, graphic design, digital painting, video editing, audio editing, and even color mixing. The great thing about the Tourbox is that you can use it in so many programs. It's super flexible. You can use it in Photoshop, Lightroom, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Clip Studio Paint, Corel Painter, Paint Tool Sci, so many programs. I'm telling you, it's pretty great. You can use the Tourbox Neo either with a mouse or a graphics tablet. Personally, because I am a freelance illustrator, I use a graphics tablet with this console. While it's on the lighter end of things, it's also heavy enough so it won't slide around on your desk, and its ergonomic design allows you to control all the buttons with just one hand, which saves you a lot of trouble by using complicated shortcut keys on your keyboard. And especially for people with small hands like me, it can be a real pain trying to reach all these buttons with just one hand, sometimes two. If you're a freelance illustrator like me, I use Photoshop and Clip Studio a lot, so in this program, with the Tourbox Neo, you can easily control your brush size, brush flow, transparency, and the hardness of your brush during drawing. With just a little versatile knob, you can zoom in and out with a roll or even drag images by pressing a customized button. You can do all of this stuff with just one hand, and you don't even have to move your hand across the keyboard whatsoever, which is a really big pain in the butt. If you do graphic design with just a mouse and a digital panel or a monitor, you can also do the same thing. When I first looked at the Tourbox Neo, I thought, that's a lot of buttons. I don't think I'm going to be using every single one. But I was wrong, and I used pretty much every single button on that console, except for the lower left scrolly wheel. I pretty much just use that as my fidget toy. I'm going to briefly go over the customized buttons that I've used for the Tourbox Neo based on my own personal preferences. An important thing to note before I say anything is that you can actually map all of these keys and you can save them as presets in the Tourbox console application. The preset that I'm working with is used for Clip Studio Paint. I use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out of my canvas, and I use the knob to change my brush size. The topmost button of the console is used as the Shift key. In Clip Studio Paint, this is really nifty for when you want to combine layers, make extra selections, or make straight lines with the brush tool. Then you have the C1 and C2 buttons, which are the small, two little circle buttons on the console. I mapped the C1 button to be the space key. This way I can drag my canvas in any position that I want. Below the C1 and C2 keys are the tall and short finger-like buttons. I use the taller key as the undo button, and I use the shorter key as the step forward button. Next we have the D-pad, which is incredibly useful for switching in between tools. That's what I personally use it for. You can choose to have the D-pad lay on your computer screen as a slight overlay so that you can see the tools that you can switch between. My D-pad is set to the top button as eraser tools, the right button as pen tools, the lower button as a gradient or paint bucket tool, and the left button as a free transform tool. If we go back towards the knob, you can see that there's a little button to the lower left of the knob. That button I use for Alt, which I use to pick colors on my canvases. If you have a digital pen with buttons already on it, I usually just use the buttons on the pen, to be honest with you. But this is a pretty handy alternative for those who don't have buttons on their pen. On the left side of the console, you can see a side button. I pretty much use that as the control button, which allows me to drag images that I need around my canvas. All of that is my personal layout, but you can go into the Tourbox console application and you can map these keys to whatever you want. My honest review of the Tourbox console is pretty good. I would recommend this to any freelance illustrator or video editor or 3D modeler, whatever you do. I would really recommend it as an additional tool to your workplace. I personally struggle with carpal tunnel, especially in the colder seasons, and reaching across the keyboard like this to just do one button doesn't really help. So the Tourbox, for my left hand at least, is really good for not cramping up my hand or not straining any muscles, because everything is right there in a small box, ready to go, and you can reach literally every single button with just your hand. As for weight, it pretty much weighs around the same size as an empty coffee mug. It's not too heavy, but it is heavy enough so that it won't slip and slide around your desk, which can be pretty annoying if you've worked with lighter desk tablets. On the bottom of the console, there's these little rubber feet that will definitely make sure that the console doesn't slip and slide around your workplace. As for the material that's used for the Tourbox, I really like that there's a slightly soft feel to all the buttons and the console itself. It's not made of any cold plastic and really hard metal. I don't know what the material is, but it's just really nice to feel, and it's made of skin-friendly materials, and it's comfortable to hold, which I highly appreciate. Thank you, Tourbox, because my hands hurt, and I kind of need to keep these around to eat. I'm gonna be completely honest, I did have a little bit of a struggle when I first used the console. It's because, it's not as big as a keyboard, and my muscle memory kept telling me that I had to stretch my hand across the console to even reach a couple buttons. It does take some time, I'm not gonna lie. But I learned it within a week or so before I started getting pretty comfortable. Now I can whip it out anytime I want, pause, and I can go ahead and use the console in any program that I want. Clip Studio Paint, Photoshop, whatever I need. One of my most favorite features about the Tourbox Neo is its size. I have a full-length keyboard. I'm talking number pad and everything. And when it comes to my desk, I don't like a lot of things on it. Pretty much it's just my keyboard, my tablet, and the Tourbox Neo. And maybe a coffee cup or two. But like I said, the small size really makes it good for people like me who don't like a lot of stuff on their workspace. So you can just tuck your keyboard away if you'd like, and you can just have the console, the tablet, and your mouse, and whatever else you need. The only cons that I have about this console is that I don't really like the two circular buttons on the right. I thought they could have been a little bigger because it is kind of hard sometimes to press with my thumb or my finger whenever I'm really focused in work and I miss the button because it's not big enough. But that's pretty much my only gripe. Another thing that I'd really like to see in the future is if the console could be wireless. Maybe some sort of Bluetooth version could come out in the future so I don't have to worry about wires. Because to be honest with you, I'm not crazy about wires. So all I'm saying is if there's ever a version in the future where it's wireless, that'd be pretty sick nasty. Overall, if I had to rate the Tourbox Neo, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. This is the first that I've ever seen of its kind, so I'm very sure that there's going to be more potential for updated or improved versions in the future. I'm not doubting that at all. So if you do decide to get a Tourbox Neo, the things that you will need to keep in mind is that you need either a Windows or Mac operating system and a USB 2.0 cable. Depending on the orientation of your computer tower or laptop, the wire is not crazy long, so I would recommend either one of those USB monitor stands or orient your space to where the wire can actually reach. If you guys liked what you see in this video and you want to get a Tourbox Neo console for yourself, you can click the link below in the description. If you click the link, you can get up to $10 off, which is pretty nice. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and happy drawing. See you next time.